Good afternoon. My name is Mohammed Yaseen, Alberta's Associate Minister of Immigration and Multiculturalism, and I'm so pleased that you could join me today. I would like to recognize Haider Hassan, a member of Alberta Anti-Racism Advisory Council and CEO of Immigrant Services Calgary. Suman Kanal, Chief Program Officer of the Immigrant Education Society. And Alka Merlin, Director of Communication and External Relations of the Immigrant Education Society. I also wish to acknowledge Muhammad Awada and China Ogbana, the two co-chairs of the Anti-Racism Advisory Council, along with council members Pamela Beebe. While they could not join us today, they provided critical insights into our news release, including Pamela's perspective on the importance of this initiative to Indigenous communities. Thank you, all of you, for all of your support of today's important announcement. I am so honored to be part of a government which recognizes that our province has a diverse population and a rich tapestry of different cultures and traditions. One of the things that makes our province and our country so great is that we have the freedom to celebrate and learn about different cultures and traditions. Alberta's government has taken many steps to support the freedom by promoting multiculturalism, combating racism, and building a safer and more inclusive society. I want you to know that Alberta's government is committed to continue with these improvements. Everyone in Alberta, from all backgrounds, have the right to feel safe, supported, and valued. Most of Albertans are welcoming and fair-minded, so they appreciate the contributions that various racial, cultural communities are making to our province. And we know that newcomers will be a critical part of our province's continued economic success. Unfortunately, racism still exists in our province, and there are still people who struggle to accept our diverse culture, groups, and traditions. To guide our anti-racism initiatives, I was pleased, very pleased, to release Alberta's Anti-Racism Action Plan earlier this year. The plan will guide our efforts to combat racism and promote acceptance of all races and cultures. Today is another step in that same direction, and I am very proud to announce that new Multiculturalism and Anti-Racism Grant Program. We are investing $1 million in projects to celebrate Alberta's diversity and to encourage Albertans to think about ending racism. The grants are open to Alberta-based nonprofit organizations that include multicultural and faith-based organizations, as well as First Nations and Métis settlements. Each organization can apply for up to $30,000 to support their diversity and anti-racism initiatives that include enhance cross-cultural awareness, increase Albertans' understanding of people from other cultures and their differences, increase Albertans' understanding of racism and the challenges faced by Indigenous and other racialized groups, and or increase Albertans' knowledge so they can better identify and address racism. The deadline for applications is November 16th, and I encourage all eligible groups to please go ahead and apply for this grant. I am confident that grants will help all Albertans become more aware of our various cultures and better educated about racism. This will promote a more harmonious society where everyone, regardless of their background, can feel welcome, safe, and appreciated in our great province. Also, I want to remind everyone that we want to hear from you to guide Alberta's future anti-racism initiatives. Just 1 week ago, our online anti-racism survey was launched to learn about all Albertans' experiences with racism. Please visit alberta.ca/taking-action-against-racism to complete our short survey. It will not take too long at all. Your responses will help us highlight most important areas for us to work on next. So it's very important that you please participate in this survey. Thank you again for joining me today, and I will now ask Haider Hassan to say a few words. Haider.
Thank you, Associate Minister. It is a pleasure to be here today and to be part of this groundbreaking announcement and offer a few comments on behalf of Immigrant Services Calgary, and also as a member of the Alberta Anti-Racism Advisory Council. This grant, Associate Minister, will be a great boost for multicultural organizations and immigrant servicing agencies like ours. It will send the right message out that Alberta is a diverse place with people from many racial, linguistic, and cultural backgrounds. The grants will provide assistance to help organizations help fellow Albertans to learn about and understand and appreciate other cultures and traditions. Isn't it true, when we understand each other, we can actually unleash potential and we get along better and our lives will be richer? The grant program also supports the Alberta Anti-Racism Action Plan and the work the Alberta Anti-Racism Advisory Council is taking to support that plan. As a member of the council, I'm pleased to see yet another groundbreaking initiative to combat racism in our province. Our council has supported many important efforts recently, including the release of the action plan, an online survey, as Associate Minister mentioned, and an in-person public engagement about anti-racism. Many Albertans have reached out to us saying that they want to be the change that they want to see. So I encourage all Albertans, go online and fill out the survey by October 21st so you can actually be the change as we move forward. It will only take you 15 minutes. Racism causes some unacceptable hurt to those who experience it and prevents Albertans from being the best place it can be. These grants will help educate Albertans about racism, its ill effects, and ways to combat it so that Alberta can be the safe and inclusive place that it is. I want to applaud the government again for taking this important step so that more people like me can advance and unleash their potential. I will now ask Suman Kanal to say a few words on behalf of the Immigrant Education Society. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Haider. My CEO, Sally Zhao, who was really willing to come here to attend this announcement, but unfortunately she's not feeling well, so she can't make it. So I'm representing on behalf of Sally. But it's my great pleasure to be in this important announcement and offer a few comments on behalf of the Immigrant Education Society. The Immigrant Education Society, being one of the immigrant serving agencies, provide integrated services to newcomers and socially and economically isolated Canadians to enhance their potential here in Canadian society through language education, employment, and settlement assistance. This grant definitely will be a fantastic opportunity for us to educate our clients, members, and newcomers to learn about, as Minister already mentioned, racism, even if we don't want it, still exists. So we need to combat with that and then, address the issue that's been caused by this racism here in Canadian society. Our organization is it's all about education, and I'm pleased to see that this new grant has education is one of its fundamental cornerstones. The grant will also help Albertans to get acquainted with the culture and transition of their new neighbors. The more we know about each other, the more we will appreciate each other and become good neighbors and friends in our community. Education about racism and the damage it causes help us understand some of the experiences of the Indigenous and racialized community and the way that we can help members of those communities feel welcome, valued, and safe in our community and in the province. Again, thank you, the government of Alberta and Minister Yaseen, for starting this grant program and the potential it has to help educate Albertans. Again, thank you for inviting Thais and myself to attend this and address the important announcement. Now, I'm going to invite Roy to moderate media availability. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Minister, and each of the speakers. We will look for questions from the floor first. As always, one question, then one follow-up, please. And after that, we will go online for any final questions. Any questions from the floor? Yeah, Christiana, can you put through the first caller?
Josh Aldridge, Calgary Herald.
Hi, go ahead, Josh.
Good afternoon. Thank you for taking my question. I got a couple questions. First of all, could you give me some examples of the type of programming that this funding will go to, just to kind of clarify it for people, what type of programming this is going to support? Can you give me some examples of where it could go to?
Well, thank you, Josh. Good question. This grant is basically aimed at two aspects of creating, first, to create awareness among cultural groups and what they bring in here and the differences that others may have with them, and trying to educate each other. And the second part of this grant is to work together on anti-racism, the effects of racism, how it happens, and if there are people who are affected by it, and can they share their experiences for us so that we can move forward to do further, take next steps to manage and work its anti-racism issue as well. Thank you.
Okay, my follow-up question. Can you give me some context here? Is especially coming out of the pandemic, for the type of racism that some of these groups are facing, is it getting better? Is it getting worse? Are you seeing more complaints filed or hate crimes committed, those types of things? Is the situation at all improving out there? Could you clear that up, or is it just, this is just the next step that we need to take to increase that awareness?
Well, thank you. Another good question, Joshua. Yes, this pandemic has impacted all of us, and it has impacts, on economic impacts, and also impacts on, working together, understanding each other, and maybe sometimes lack of doing that. has come out of pandemic. And we have seen some instances in, actually probably in Calgary, but more in Edmonton. And in a couple of instances, I was told that it wasn't really probably a racial issue, but it has probably more to do with pandemic, and people just don't kind of see that. So there was an impact on that, but this is an ongoing thing as well. So we need to find ways to on a go for and continuous basis, working with various groups, newcomers, and highlighting their contributions that they make to this province. And in that regard, we have taken a number of steps already, including their recognitions of the newcomers in newcomers recognition awards and so on. So it's basically yes, it has it was impacted by racism, by pandemic, as well as it's an ongoing issue that we as government need to deal with.
And were there any other questions today?
There are no other questions on the phone at this time.
And go ahead with your first question, please. Oh, sorry. Then once again, thank you very much all for attending. It's greatly appreciated. We're going to take some time to get some pictures of the three of you before you go. And otherwise, have a wonderful day.